Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Made You Book. My name's Gretchen and today I just want to talk about a super funny book that I just finished and one that I had just the best time with, and that is Starter Villain by John Scalzi. So this book was probably one of the funniest books that I have read in a long time. It had me laughing from the first paragraph. It had me in stitches, and even going back and thinking about some of the scenes, like it still makes me laugh. Now, I loved this book for so many reasons, mainly because it was funny, but it was a very dark humor at times, which I truly appreciate. Dark humor. It's also very sarcastic, and it is just completely over the top and unbelievable. So this book follows our main character, and his name is Charlie. And Charlie is having a rough go at life. His wife has left him. He used to be a reporter at the Chicago Tribune. He was let go, and now the only way that he can make ends meet is by substitute teaching, and he is less than living paycheck to paycheck, and he is just looking for something new and good to happen in his life. He's also someone that has great ambitions. He is looking to buy a pub that is going out of business because the owner is retiring, and it's kind of a very meaningful place to him. It takes him back to his days of his youth, and he just wants to find something to not only, stabilize his income, but also to give him purpose in his life, which is what he is really looking for. He lives alone. He lives in a house that was owned by his father. His father and mother have both passed, and he has step siblings that he is kind of falling outs with over the estate. He is currently living in the house, but the brothers and sisters are trying to get it sold and take that away from him, and he is just hanging on by a thread. He lives in that house with his cat. His cat is named Hera, and she is an absolute delight. And I just loved the relationship between him and his cat. Now, we all, if any of you are cat fans or you love cats, you understand that the universe gives you a cat when it deems necessary. So anybody that has a cat knows about the cat distribution system, and Charlie just so happens to stumble upon a cat that looks eerily like his current cat, Hera, and he takes the kitten in, and when he is back at home, he receives a phone call from his estate lawyer that's kind of handling everything between him and his siblings. He comes to find out that his uncle, who is extremely wealthy through a system of parking lots that he owns, that's how he built his wealth, or so Charlie believes, and he is now kind of tasked with fulfilling his uncle's last wish, which is that Charlie kind of sets up and organizes his funeral and his viewing. So that's kind of where the story just takes off, and it gets so just so outrageous, so outlandish, very funny. And as you can see, like, I can't stop smiling. I can't stop thinking about this book and how much it made me laugh and how much joy it brought to me. It is not going to be a book that is doing anything profound or earth-shaking in the message that it's telling you, but at the end, there is a little bit of a lesson that is learned. One thing that Charlie soon comes to know, and this is not a spoiler, is that his uncle, as I mentioned, his wealth is believed to have come from his parking lot businesses or parking garage businesses, but he is actually what the world would consider a supervillain, and he has lots of enemies, and those enemies make their kind of first appearance at the funeral. And as I mentioned, that's kind of where all of the hilarity ensues, and this just turns into just a raucous, good time. And also, you all know that I love to read the physical and listen to the audio. The audio is narrated by the one and only Will Wheaton, and he does such an amazing job with this book. His acting comes, like, the fact that he is an actor just flies into your ears. He is so animated, and his voice is just incredible. His comedic timing is spot on, and something that could be so dry or missed by just physically reading, he absolutely brought the story to life, and like, I cannot say enough good things about this book and how loud it made me laugh and how happy it made me feel. And it was just a wonderful escape. I've been reading a lot of very serious books lately, and this was like the perfect palate cleanser for me, just to kind of read something that I didn't have to think very hard about, but was still engaging. And this is a book that I will remember for a very long time, just based solely on the way that it made me feel. And I really hope that if it sounds like something you would at all be interested in, that you give it a chance, because I think that you will love it too. I cannot imagine anybody picking up this book and not finding some part of it humorous. Now, the other thing about it is, I know that some people might have a problem with like surrealism or, you know, talking animals or things like that. If that's the case and you don't like that, then this is definitely not going to be for you. We have talking animals, we have dolphins, we have whales, we have cats. There is just so much fun stuff going on in this book that I thoroughly had such a good time. And if you're kind of on the fence onto whether or not you would like this, if any of you have read or are fans of Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton, you are absolutely going to love Starter Villain. This was another book that just had me in stitches from the word go. It was so over the top. And yeah, so for fans of Hollow Kingdom, or the follow-up to this, which I think was called Feral Creatures. I didn't like Feral Creatures as much as I loved Hollow Kingdom, but both still had me laughing, and this one was definitely super, super funny. But this one also had more of a kind of like an emotional side to it as well. There were some very poignant moments in it, and on top of the humor, which was very great. But one other thing to tell you about Starter Villain is this was my first choice from the new book subscription service that I belong to, which is Aardvark Book Club. And I cannot say how happy I was with my selection. I have been a subscriber of Book of the Month for a while, and I really enjoy Book of the Month, but I think I mentioned in a previous video, their books just, I haven't been vibing with them. I'm not saying that the books are not good, but I'm just not in a space right now in my reading life to enjoy a lot of the books that they are putting out. There are a lot of romances, there's a lot of thrillers, and I'm just more in my literary fiction, translated fiction, humor, type reads. And this new book subscription service that actually, I think they just celebrated their year anniversary, has just been kind of exactly what I was looking for. And I may do a review video a little further down the road once I get more books through this service, but I definitely think that if any of you are kind of struggling with whether or not Book of the Month is the right subscription service for you right now, take a look at Aardvark to see if there are, if there's potentially an opportunity to switch it up. The other great thing is that Aardvark is Canadian based. So for any of you that don't get Book of the Month, because I think it's still only available in the US. It may be available to Canadians now, but the last I checked, it was not. This is a great option for any Canadian viewers out there. So yeah, I just wanted to take a minute to tell you, well, a few minutes to tell you about this book. I know this time of year, we're getting close to the holidays. It's a very stressful time of year for a lot of people, and sometimes you just need something to make you laugh. And this definitely fit the bill for me. It was a great piece of escapism for me. And John Scalzi does have a few other books in his backlist. And I think that I'm going to give some of those a try, but I'm going to wait until I feel like I need that humor in my life. But yeah, so have any of you read this book? Oh, one other thing. I do want to thank one of my viewers specifically. I think her name is Liz Laura or Laura Liz. I'm so sorry that I'm probably not getting that right, but she was actually the one that recommended this to me. She was looking for a good audiobook, and I recommended one to her, which was Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, because Meryl Streep narrated it and she just wasn't getting along with it at the time. So she actually found this one on her own. It is an Audible exclusive though. And she told me how funny it was. So thank you for this great recommendation. Are there any other, I'm really curious to know, are there any other books out there for any of you that have read either of these that are in the similar vein? I don't mind talking animals. I think that they can be, if it's done for the purpose of humor, I can very well get on board with it. Sometimes if we have talking animals in a serious book that's not necessarily humor or satire, I kind of, struggle with that a little bit sometimes. But does anybody have any other recommendations for books like these that you think that I might like? If so, please leave those comments down below. If you like these videos and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Your support means so much to me. I have just recently crossed the 400 subscriber mark, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I cannot believe it. So if you like this content, if you have any specific books that you think that I would like, please let me know. And until the next time, I will see you later. Take care. Bye.